What is up, YouTube? It's your boy SmackNPie here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a Dark Deception Chapter 5 video. Bam, ladies and gentlemen, on your screens, what you're seeing right now is Reaper nurses with universal healing. Here's the tweet saying, Universal Healing Mercy. Now, you might have been expecting that this is just a freaking art. True, but an officially commissioned art. Sure, it is not a teaser, but if you look at the hashtag, it says hashtag #deception, hashtag DD chapter 5, art by 3 Kaku. Link will be in the description. What does this mean, ladies and gentlemen? You might be asking. Okay. Back in chapter 4 days, we used to have a lot of officially commissioned arts for chapter 4. I think the most recognizable one is the Joy Joy Gang one, but we also had one for Mama Bear and other stuff. They're not official teasers, they don't give us hints or clues to how the level is gonna play out or how the gameplay is gonna be structured and whatnot, but what they do, what they do is give us a hint towards the lore and the characters in the art, their role in the freaking lore of the freaking story of the upcoming chapter. Here, in this case, Reaper Nurses. Smack. Reaper Nurses, that's chapter 4, so what are they doing here in chapter 5? Okay, if you're new here, that's why you're asking this question. Everybody from all the previous chapters combined will be returning in chapter 5. When we say returning in chapter 5, the first thing that comes to mind is Joy Joy Gang, because we literally had like a new Lucky the Rabbit, kind of sort of Joy Kill version skin teaser for chapter 5. That makes sense for Joy Joy Gang. But for Reaper Nurses, this is the first time that we're actually kind of seeing a nod towards them, returning, even though it is confirmed for them to return in the freaking chapter 5. Okay, this right here begs the question, what kind of return are we talking about for every character, not just Reaper Nurses? And most specifically, what about Reaper Nurses? Okay, let's try to unpack and understand. When we say returning characters in chapter 5, the first thing that comes to mind is the chapter 4 cutscene, where Malak entered the ballroom and he brought all the monsters. Okay. Then Beers used her final resort ring piece to cast Malak and his minions out of the ballroom. That was the last resort for her to save herself and us and whatever. But what now? Where will they return? How are we gonna face them? Is it gonna be a sequential 1-by-1 phase? Or is it gonna be a boss fight kind of phase where everybody merges, aka the blob? Everybody returns, Malak invites them all, and then he merges all of them, making this one combined blob. See, that's the question that everybody's asking, because nobody knows. This is one thing that Vince has, kept secret, like how these returns are gonna go and I can't talk today. Because if the previous characters are to return one at a time, or even if they return all at once and we have a sequence of facing one of them at a time, imagine all the voice lines, every single one of them having a voice line. They're like, I remember you. So what about Reaper Nurses specifically? When they return, what are they going to contribute to? Because all the previous enemies, we've defeated them fair and square. Sure, we might have used some powers here and there, but so were they, the characters. They were using the powers. If you look at this closely, if you look at this honestly and truthfully, we are the kind of OG. We are really, one of the best out there. Because not only are we defeating one of them, we're defeating all of them and their bosses, which are supposed to be the best ones, and in multiple quantities. So, when you put all of them together, I think Malak is playing a gamble here and playing a risk of, okay, these suckers, they've faced Doghouse, so they got defeated on their own, but maybe united together, all these enemies, because they know the weaknesses of Doghouse. Maybe we can exploit that together. If every single one enemy, brings one vulnerability, one weakness of Doug Hauser to the table, and then you combine all the weaknesses and vulnerability, and then, spam him and mash all those, vulnerabilities at once to Doug Hauser, chances are he will fall, ladies and gentlemen, but not from me, bro. Not on my playthrough, ladies and gentlemen. He will come forth as a winner. Victory will be ours. That's cringe, man. Stop it. So yeah, this was less of a teaser, more of a story/role kind of thing. I don't think each of these enemies will get a major role, maybe except Joy Joy Gang. And even in the Joy Joy Gang, just Lucky. I mean, we do know that all these enemies will have voice lines because it was confirmed for JoJo Gang. One would have to wonder and assume, okay, maybe other enemies will get voice lines too, like Mama Bear and maybe Hair Reaper Nurses and whatnot. Trigger Daddies, they don't have lines. They do, I don't know what kind of sound effect they do. Maybe Matron as well. I don't know about the bosses, but we do know about the freaking characters. Ladies and gentlemen, we are dragging this out, so let's not do that no more. Susi for more 100k, chapter 5 hype continues. I'll see you in the next one.